Hi everybody, I'm Dave Slipka from Beckett Media, and as one of the veterans here at Beckett, I have been chosen to say goodbye to one of our valued veterans, to use a hobby term, Tracy Hackler.
What is up?
It's with great sadness that we report that Tracy is going to be leaving us. Today is his final day at Beckett, and we'll let him tell you about the greener pastures that he has ahead.
Well, Dave, thank you. Thank you for that rousing intro. I was approached about a position with a company you guys are all familiar with called Panini America in their marketing department. They're growing that area, and they've grown quite a few of their areas within the company recently. And I was obviously honored to be approached by the opportunity and gave it some thought, and it was a tough decision, but ultimately decided that I was ready to explore that and tackle it and see if I could make some difference over there.
Great.
So, but it was tough. I mean, because the thing that's always made any of these work decisions tough are the people. And I've been lucky to have worked here twice now. Which some people might see that as a little odd, but I see it as I've been fortunate and blessed two different times. So
that was going to be my first question. Is here we have one of the famous Beckett wall photos,
right?
And the date on there says a start date of 2004,
right?
But for those of us who've been around a little longer than that, we know that that's only half the story.
Well, yeah, that was my return. Was in 2004. I first started at Beckett as
you retired.
Intern. Yes, I retired once. I came out of, I'm like Brett Favre kind of, right? But I don't have nearly as good an arm as he does. But so I started back in 1995 as an intern, like a summer intern, trying to finish up school and just giddy beyond belief that I didn't have the chance to come to Beckett. Growing up collecting and reading the magazines that I always aspired. And I found out they were in Dallas, and I'm like, holy cow, it's like kismet. It's meant to be. So I interviewed actually for an internship about a year before and got booted out the door. And then 1 year later, they were doing some kind of recruiting trips up at North Texas where I went to school. And I got the internship, spent my summer here of 95 here, got married, went to work for a newspaper, and then 3 or 4 months later, a guy by the name of Pepper Hastings, who we all know and love, called me and said, hey, we have a full-time gig open. You want it? And I was already in the building by the time he hung up the phone. And, so I spent 5 great years here, and then 4 years I went to Donruss, came back for 6, and now start the next chapter.
1995. I don't know if people grasp that. 1995.
1995. That's I was 25 years old at the point.
And in hobby terms, that's 2 generations.
It's like dog years, right?
Right. We're talking before memorabilia cards.
Yeah.
When you started here, I mean, to put a stamp on the age of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and talk about some of the changes in the hobby, or where the hobby was then versus where it is now.
Well, it's great that you bring up memorabilia cards, because one of the first things I ever did as an intern here was I would take card company press releases and turn them into notes and stuff. And I remember one of the first notes I got was a press release about this Upper Deck game jersey football card thing. And we're like, what? And you had to read it. And you're like, so they're going to cut up jerseys and put them on trading cards. And I just remember that as being revolutionary. We all did.
Yeah.
And then came the one per pack autograph, the signature series products, and we're like,
where can it go from
what's
here?
next?
Yeah.
They're going to put money in packs or whatever. And I think someone did.
Yeah.
But to be on the front end of that and just to watch this thing explode. Pinnacle Brands used to do some crazy stuff. They put cards in cans, but I remember a press release from them back in the day where they're putting diamond chips on cards in place of a guy's earring.
Right.
And those kind of things, and just to see where it's gone now, where the game jersey card was once one in 720 packs or 7,200 packs, whatever it was. Now you're getting them in every pack, and people expect them, and so it's been real fun to watch that. One of the things the mainstream media always likes to report on is that we've priced kids out. What they don't, that's not necessarily true, but what they fail to report on the flip side of that is that the cards have become more expensive, but they've also become more valuable. There's more value in them now than there ever has been. I wish that got reported a little more.
Definitely, definitely. You mentioned all the different things in the hobby. What comes to mind in the different roles, and you've done different things. You've represented us at shows. You really brought Box Busters to the forefront, and the video element to Beckett Media. Talk about the different roles that you had and the things that stand out in those things.
Well, the content side of things has always been my passion. I mean, I love writing, and so to be able to be on the editorial side of things was fantastic. To be able to put magazines out these magazines out has always been. It's been a dream. It's been a dream job, and I pinch myself all the time being able to do that for all this time, and then going to Donruss on the PR side. One of the reasons I went there was because I wanted to kind of expand the arsenal, so to speak, and I learned the PR side and the advertising side, and those things were exciting. And the biggest revelation for me was being on this side and then going to the manufacturer side and just seeing what they have to go through to put a product out is maddening. And I know we're quick to criticize all manufacturers when something goes wrong, but it's kind of walk a mile in their shoes and see what they have to go through. And that was really jarring for me. And you ask anybody who's been on this side, who's gone to the manufacturer side now, there's a lot of folks who've done that, from Mike Payne to Grant Sandground to Ben Eklar and Almir, just the list goes on and on. But I bet if you talk to them and you ask them, what's it like over there, they're going to go, I had no idea it was like this, But to be able to be on that side, then to see the explosion of kind of social media, the web, and kind of the playing field being leveled that way with how content is distributed has been kind of interesting to watch. But some of the